source for Second Amendment news. We have a special live stream. I kind of started teasing it yesterday, and I couldn't say what it was because certain things had to fall in line today. And I just wanted to let you know that what is going on right here in this state is big and will affect possibly your state, depending on where you live. So pay attention of what's going on, and you'll get some good information here. I want to first invite a personal friend of mine. Andrew Kuchar is an attorney here in Massachusetts. He goes by the Two-Way Attorney on Facebook. I will tell you about this gentleman. I know him personally. He's a stand-up guy, and he's so stand-up that here in Massachusetts, this is the only state so far in the union that has actually gone backwards during this gun ban through COVID-19. If you watch the channel, you're familiar with what happened. The government shut basically everything down that was non-essential for COVID-19 related business, which caused gun stores, manufacturers, ammo stuff, shooting ranges. Everything was closing. So then Gun Owners of America and Gun Owners of California sent a letter to Donald Trump asking him to reconsider it and deem them essential because the Second Amendment doesn't take a sidestep to a virus. That same day, Donald Trump responded to that letter, and the Department of Homeland Security had changed their essential designation and included stuff related to the Second Amendment. Gun shops, retailers, manufacturers, ammo is the same way with ammo, and shooting ranges. That same day, here in Massachusetts, our governor, Charlie Baker, he changed his essential business designation, copied word for word the federal Department of Homeland Security paragraph, the way they wrote it, and gun shops were telling everybody, hey, we're opening up tomorrow, and we're back in business. About an hour after that, maybe less than an hour, I'm sure Andrew will tell us in a second, our Attorney General here, Maura Healey, who is the worst in the nation, we know each other, we hate each other probably, and she put out a tweet immediately in response to Boston.com saying that the governor had deemed gun shops and shooting ranges as essential. She said, nope, they are not essential. And then immediately the governor acquiesced and changed what he had, went backwards, and immediately shut down gun shops again and shooting ranges. He kept the other stuff open, manufacturers related to ammunition, firearms, etc., but he couldn't buy a gun, still can't, as we're saying this, in Massachusetts. Can't buy ammo. Can't even go in and renew your firearms license, your permit here, which is a license to carry. And a goal here, which is Gun Owners Action League, they have been working with the legislature to try to get that, if you were expired right now during this, to be extended indefinitely until this comes to an end. The legislature was for it, but the governor said, nah, because of Maura Healey, I'm sure. So that brought a lot of negativity to Massachusetts. We have businesses that were forced to close even though the U.S. government said that they should be deemed essential. We have people who are losing their livelihood because their means of putting food on the table for their family was forced to be shut down by bureaucracy. And to make it worse, all the money that the government is making available to businesses affected by this, it's not available to the firearms industry. So it was a way for Massachusetts government to close gun shops and force them out of business. And I know that I've been receiving all kinds of DMs and tweets and messages that this is happening in many states right now, which brings us to today. The Second Amendment attorney, Andrew, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself, tell them about your practice and how to get a hold of you, and then we'll get into the fun stuff today.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you for having me on, by the way. Big fan. As you know, I've been following you since you started, and you do a great job, I have to tell you.
Thank you, buddy.
My name is Attorney Andrew Kuchar. I've been a practicing attorney now for going on 14 years. I've always had an interest in firearms since I've been growing up, and when I first became barred, I wanted to practice Second Amendment law and gun rights law in our state, seeing what kind of infringements go on, daily in the state. And when Governor Baker decided that he was going to listen to Maura Healey and not the president, that's when I stood up and said, I'm not taking it anymore. This is ridiculous.
Right, and to tell you guys, he's very serious. He called me that night, and he was irate. He's like, I'm sick of this. We have to do something. And I let him in on something that I had working in the background, and that brings us to where we are today. I will say that right away, some folks, hey, American Gun Chick, how are you doing? I just wanted to let everybody know that what we're about to talk about right now is here in Massachusetts, this will affect the nation. This will affect those states who have decided that the Second Amendment doesn't matter during a virus. California, just 3 days ago, it was the first U.S. federal judge decision that said, you know what, I'm not going to honor whatever the lawsuit says before me. I'm not going to force gun shops to open, which brings us to where we are today.
Basically, honor the Constitution.
Absolutely. So Massachusetts is, you guys, if you watch the channel here, you know, it is one of the most anti-gun states in the union. Every chance they get, they infringe on our rights. Do nothing to stop the criminals. They just affect the law-abiding citizens who own guns. We have an attorney general who is ruthless and unchecked. She reinterpreted a law that had been on the books for 24 years with numerous AGs before her to include federal as well, that was allowing us in this state to buy ARs and AKs, although they had to be Massachusetts compliant. She took it away overnight by rereading certain things her own way. The governor stood by and let it happen. She told the governor through Twitter that gun shops don't matter and ranges don't matter and the Second Amendment doesn't matter, and he gave in again and he rescinded. And Massachusetts for forever has been, well, we feel like, we've been forgotten by, you name the group, NRA, anybody, all right? Nobody has really focused on Massachusetts and come after this state, because Maura Healey will fight till the end, and it costs money. But today is different. Today, things hopefully change, and today is like the lawsuits heard around the world. Today, Andrew and the Gun Owners of America have filed a suit here in Massachusetts. Andrew, and I'll tell you about another lawsuit as well. Andrew, tell us about your lawsuit, please.
Thank you. Well, we currently have, we currently have 14 different plaintiffs, both gun stores, we have a shooting range, and we have some private individuals who have a license, but especially this one lady, she wanted to get a gun in order to protect herself, but with the gun stores closed, she's fully licensed to do it. She's unable to go and just get a gun to defend herself. She's an older lady, and she lives by herself, and she desperately needs to have a gun to defend herself. And according to Charlie Baker, that's not necessary. So what I did is I filed in federal court, basically saying that not only did they violate their oath of office, it was a deprivation of rights pursuant to 42 U.S.C. 1983. That includes all plaintiffs against the defendants. We also filed a deprivation of rights, violation of the Second Amendment and the U.S. Constitution, which is, I'm the only attorney who put that into my lawsuit. And we also did violation of Massachusetts Declaration of Rights, which also has a provision in there saying that the citizens have a right to be armed. And we also deprivation of due process rights in regards to all plaintiffs. Basically, they had a due process right, especially the gun stores. Look, they have a due process right to conduct their business and to be able to make money. And basically, at the stroke of a pen, Charlie Baker revoked that without any sort of due process.
And we're used to that here. And people listening right now are probably like ripping their hair out. But that's what happens here. Because
like in Massachusetts,
tyranny is alive and well in Massachusetts if you are a gun person. Whether you're a hunter, a tactical shooter, IPSC guy, it doesn't matter. They hate us equally. And one thing that drives me nuts is that in the country there's that that notion, well, you voted them in, you get what you deserve, or just move out. Guys and gals, it ain't that easy. I didn't vote for any of these ass nuts, but they're here. And as a resident, as a guy who loves the Constitution, I'm fighting them. And I'm glad that I have friends like you. I have friends in Gun Owners of America. I have a lot of friends around the country who are pro 2A, and I've been hoping for years that we could get everybody to attack this state, and today came forward with it. So, like I said, there were 2 lawsuits. Andrew and GOA are on one, and the second one that was filed today as well was Gun Owners Action League of Massachusetts, or GOAL, COM 2A, the Second Amendment Foundation, and the Firearms Policy Coalition. They have joined forces and are coming after the governor and several police chiefs, which was like music to my ears, because some of the chiefs actually had the gonads to order places closed and order that they were going to fine them. And in fact, one town, which I'll leave out for the moment, cops who should be honoring the Constitution and fighting for it, not infringing upon it, stood in a parking lot of a gun shop and shut it down, and the people who were in line refused to let the business continue. Get off my job if that's how you operate. You should be fighting for the people and their rights, not bidding for Attorney General Healy. So get off my job, first off. And second of all, I'm so happy that these 2 lawsuits are in effect today. They've been filed today. I believe that if this is done right, this will change the nation for those of us who are stuck with, like we are. I'm a victim of this myself. Today I became a victim of this. I have a firearm that was shipped to me. It arrived yesterday. I called my FFL to go pick it up today, and he said, "Sorry, Jared, I can't transfer it to you because we're afraid of Attorney General Healy and her fines." So I'm a victim of this as well. So I hope you guys smother her. I hope you destroy her, but I know it's going to be a fight. I know she's going to fight it to the end. She does that with everything, hoping that you run out of funds and you can't do it. With that said, it's expensive, and you haven't asked for $1, correct?
I have not asked for 1 red cent. I put it out there that I'm doing this. I'm not going to stop, and I'm going to continue to do this. One of the plaintiffs was nice enough to start up a GoFundMe account, and Gun Owners of America, as a plaintiff, they are also chipping in a little bit. I also have other cases that I'm going to have to address as well. My own personal cases. I service all of the, basically the 2A community, whether it be divorce, personal injury, criminal. Because if you're a gun owner, unfortunately in Massachusetts, when you go into court for any type of case, you're going to be looked at differently. Be it a divorce, a criminal matter, even you have to probate a will, and you got to figure out what to do with grandpa's old shotguns. You're really a second-class citizen in Massachusetts when you're a gun owner. And Jared, what I like to say is, in Massachusetts, there are 2 types of lists. One are sex offenders, the other one are gun owners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're treated worse.
Yeah.
I just put into the chats down here the link to the GoFundMe. Especially if you live in this state, and you would like to make sure that this lawsuit goes through to the fruition, all the way through, whether that includes the Supreme Court or not, it's going to take money. So please consider chipping in and sharing that with your friends. If you live outside of the state of Massachusetts, please consider helping as well. Just like I drive funds to every big lawsuit in the nation, I would hope that you could consider this as well. And share this. If you are in a state that is also affected by these communist tyrants, consider helping the cause as well. I'll also put in a link. It's going in right now. If you want to join Gun Owners of America, it's gunowners.org/gunsgadgets. I don't get a nickel from it. It's just they give viewers of my show $5 off. So they make it easier for you. If you could also do me a solid and right now hit that thumbs up, because YouTube suppresses everything I do, especially the live stuff. So if you could hit that thumbs up and maybe share this, it would be excellent. Is there anything, I know you got to stay kind of coy in what you can say about the lawsuit and what your strategy is going to be, but what else can you tell us about it? What do you want the people to know?
Well, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be filing an emergency motion for restraining order to stop the governor's actions. That's going to be the next step in the process. What the argument's going to be with that, I'm not going to divulge at this point in time because it is still a work in progress. We are nearly done with it, but we do have a little bit more work to do, but that's going to be filed next. In addition to that, we're basically going to be continuing to push. Unfortunately, the courts are closed, but because it's an emergency motion for a restraining order, I'm going to be pushing the federal courts to at least hear it telephonically for the time being, to at least get these guys open, make sure they don't go under, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but Massachusetts has basically said, the gun stores, you're not entitled to any financial relief through the state. And that was just a blow that really sent me over the edge, because that's basically their intention, is to just bankrupt every gun shop in Massachusetts.
Absolutely. And for people who are watching this that are victims like myself, what could they do? Say that they wanted to buy a gun and obviously they can't. Do they have any type of recourse, or should they be reaching out to you or GOA or even Goal, ComToA, whoever? Should they be making their voices heard right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Stand up, make your voices heard. Call your state rep, call your state senator, call the governor's office. Start making phone calls. Start saying that we have had enough and we're not going to take it anymore. And this is the final straw. We are done, and we need every voice to be heard.
Absolutely. And for those, I mean, I'm sure there are people watching and they're like, yeah, so what? But I mean, it's very rare that you have the big three. I call them the big three. You got GOA, FPC, Second Amendment Foundation. There's another agency that should be doing more, but they aren't. So I cut them right out of my picture. But the big three to all be focusing on one area where there's so much wrong going on, that alone should raise the eyebrows of everybody in the country. I know there are a lot of governors who are watching right now in Massachusetts to see what happens, because this will, as long as everything goes the way it should, follows the Constitution, this is going to affect several states.
Yes, it will. And Charlie Baker had a very bad day. Not only did he get served with my lawsuit and the ComToA lawsuit, but the marijuana shops also sued him as well.
And why was that, if you can just tell everybody?
Basically, he closed the marijuana shops, saying that they're non-essential, but yet liquor stores can stay open. I was too busy to review their complaint today, but it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be perusing over the weekend.
So in some of the other states that are affected, where the gun shops have been closed, they're still allowing liquor shops and marijuana shops to be open. In Massachusetts, recreational and medicinal are legal or decriminalized. Yeah. So for him to shut that down go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's fully legal now.
Right.
It's not decriminalized. It's fully legal. But medicinal marijuana, you can buy it medicinally, but you can't buy it for recreational. But you can go in and get, your giant cans of Natty Daddy with no problem in the state.
Or Natty Ice.
Natty Ice is better. I will say that.
So, and this is totally something different and a whole different argument that I'm not getting into. But our Attorney General has said that our Second Amendment rights are not important during a virus, but abortions still are essential. I saw that you sent that out. What is that, as an attorney? How do you even fathom that?
I can't fathom that, to be quite honest with you. It's okay to kill your family, but it's not okay to protect your family. That's basically the way I look at it. She considers going in and getting an abortion an essential service. Depending on where you stand on the subject, it's an elective surgery.
That's what I was getting at.
And same thing with a boob job. I mean, if that's the case, then you can go in and get a boob job during the COVID-19 virus, but yet you can't go and get something to defend your family. Preposterous, just completely preposterous, and does not make sense. It just shows in the tweet that she put out that for the abortions, she said nobody should use this pandemic as a way to drive your political ideology, but yet she turns around and does the same thing with guns.
Right. Well, she's done it. She does it with every breath she takes. But that's the point I was getting at. That's something that's elective, regardless of how people think about it. It's elective.
Yeah. Yeah.
I right now am out with a pretty severe back injury that I might not be able to go to be what I used to be anymore, as far as health wise. Everything I'm supposed to be doing is on hold, and this is a major injury. But something that's totally elective, they can keep doing it. It just goes to show you how screwed up this state is. So.
I mean, most people are doing physical therapy virtually.
Yeah, that's what they got me doing. But you can't really put me in traction and create more space in my injured discs over the phone, over a video call. It's not working.
Right. I mean, I have personal injury cases where, people are saying, look, I have to go in for physical therapy, but everything's shut down. So what can I do in this matter? They're suffering, but yet, according to the AG, you can go in and get an abortion anytime you want.
Maybe I should call you for my thing. But what? So for the folks, I'm familiar with lawsuits and how they progress. But for folks who don't know anything about how they progress, tell them about the steps that you're looking at, where it will progress, and literally how long it could take before we hear anything.
We could be at this for years. Let's hope this virus doesn't last that long, first of all, and we can all get out and get back out there. And basically, that would make both lawsuits moot at that point in time, basically pointless once everything is opened up. But we don't know when that's going to be. They're suggesting May 4th, but I'll tell you, some of the courts are moving cases out to August. I just got a notification today that one of my court cases has been moved to all the way to August. Nobody knows when we're going to be able to go outside again and start living a normal life. And, small business owners like gun shops, they cannot do that. So basically what happens is the start of it is you file a complaint. At that point, you wait for an answer from the defendants. Once an answer is given, or a motion to dismiss, which is what I'm expecting on as their response, we will have some sort of a telephonic conference if the courts are still closed. About either the motion to dismiss, or if they answer, at that point in time, we then start into the discovery phase. And what the discovery phase is basically they ask questions of my people, I ask questions of them. How did you come to the decision that gun stores are not essential? I can assure you that Charlie Baker will probably just send me that tweet that Maura Healey put out there. And then we also can ask a series of questions as well. They're called interrogatories. Ask questions about how they came to their decision, what brought them to that decision. And we can also ask for the documents as well, whatever documents inter-office that we can get. And then basically we go for a pretrial, and after the pretrial, we schedule for a trial. I'm hoping that we can move swiftly on this, especially because now that there's been 2 lawsuits filed, basically stating roughly the same thing, they're stylistically different, as well as me having a few more counts of violation of the Second Amendment, as well as violation of due process rights. Where we'll probably end up joining the teams and working together as one. I have a telephone conference scheduled with one of their attorneys to kind of discuss this. And basically, I'd like to see the 2A community in Massachusetts come together and fight this violation of our civil rights.
Could you imagine now? Whether or not you guys join to make it like a super suit is set that aside, but the fact that what this could actually be, if you guys actually do join forces, this would be every single major 2A advocacy group in the nation that's still fighting for our rights regularly, that's active in this country, fighting nationwide, all going after the governor and the AG in Massachusetts, and a couple of chiefs who thought they were king. If you're not paying attention and you're in a different state, you should be paying attention to this right now, because that is absolutely a statement. And a lot of governors probably are very uneasy right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've been getting a lot of flack in regards to me bringing the AG into it because in reality, did she have anything to do with the decision? I think she did, based upon how it all went down. But she's also the top law enforcement officer in Massachusetts. She controls what these chiefs do. So instead of just picking and choosing the different towns, I said, to heck with it. You cut off the head of the snake.
Well, she's also said that she would find shops that stayed open and defied her queenly orders. So yeah, she's actually taken an active part in suppressing the Second Amendment. So she should be left to answer for that as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's why she was thrown in. We were, working with Gun Owners of America. I've been working with a great team there, and I'm very excited about the prospects of this lawsuit.
Awesome, man. Again, tell the folks how to find you, how to get a hold of you if they need you.
Absolutely. My office is called the Law Office of Andrew J. Kuchar. We're located in Leominster, Massachusetts. Our number is 978-502-0221. You can also reach me by email at attykuchar, C-O-U, T as in Thomas, U-R-E, @gmail.com. And the 2A attorney page is always active. So feel free to send me a message, put a post up on one of my posts, and just stand up, be heard. This is enough. We have had enough. It's time for every gun owner and every gun supporter in Massachusetts to stand up and say, I'm not going to take this anymore.
Nationwide, not just here. It's nationwide because the country has had enough. And I'm hoping Massachusetts makes this the place that liberty started again. Makes it look like something like it used to.
These lawsuits are the shot heard around the world.
Yeah, they definitely are. From the feedback I started getting immediately after the two were filed, I'm hearing stuff from around the country, so this could be very good. I want to say, look, I mean, we've known each other for a while. I want to say thank you on behalf of my family, whose rights you're helping to protect. Thank you, man. I appreciate you more than you know. I also want to say to Gun Owners of America, I know some of them are watching at the moment. I want to thank you guys and gals. You do a hell of a job standing up against some of the biggest tyrants this country has ever seen. I want to also thank Goal and Com2A. I want to thank Second Amendment Foundation and the Firearms Policy Coalition. I'm actually wearing one of their shirts today. And their attorneys that are working on that over there. You guys and gals are doing what needs to be done. You're putting your mouth, you're not just talking about it, you're actually doing it. And when I was very young, I learned, judge somebody by their actions, not by what they say or wear. And you guys and gals everybody else should be just marveling because a lot of people don't have the galls to do it. And thank you all. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
And Jared, thank you for everything you do too. I mean, you really get the voice out there. You've grown huge. I mean, you're countrywide. Again, you started similar as me, just as a Massachusetts gun owner that has wanted to get your voice heard, and you've done one hell of a job, I'll tell you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Before we close this out, I'm going to put the links in again. Let's see. This is the GoFundMe. If you want to help out, this is Andrew's Facebook page, the 2A Attorney. And this one here is, if I can get my fingers to work, if you want to join GOA, there's a direct link, make it a little easier. Those are the links that I have in front of me. So use them if you'd like, share them if you would. And thank you, man. Is there anything else you want anybody to know?
Just, again, now's the time. Now's the time to stand up and say, we have had enough. This is a fundamental right given to us by God and not the government, and they cannot take these rights away. These are fundamental rights. And
absolutely.
You're not doing it.
All right. A message to everybody in law enforcement who might see this. You took an oath. Honor that friggin' oath. All right. Don't go violating because somebody in a suit told you to. Do your job and do it the way it's supposed to be done. And us old dogs who are doing it the right way, make us proud. Don't make me go on national video saying, get off my job if you can't do it right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I won't keep you much longer. We're into this 29 and a half, 30 minutes already. So thank you for your time. This will be put up on the regular rotation here on YouTube once YouTube does their processing. Sometimes it takes a little while. You all have been an instrumental part of this channel's growth. Whether you're a new subscriber or somebody who's been around since the days when I had like an old iPhone 4 and a flashlight doing it. But thank you all. You guys mean so much to me. If you could, please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, or if this is your first time here. The bigger this channel gets, the more information gets out, and the more we start rowing the boat in the same direction, and the more powerful we become as a group. So thank you all for your time. Andrew, again, man, I take my hat off to you, but I'm not wearing one at the moment. Thank you for everything you do. Guys and gals, be safe, stay vigilant. Thank you for your time, and carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Jared.